Hey guys, this is Vernier, and I'm joined here by Ben. Some of you guys know him as BoyWonder on 2 Plus 2, and Ben does videos for Lego Poker, and I asked him to help me look at a hand where I actually think I might have misplayed every single street, starting with pre-flop and ending with the river, and I would like to get his comments on what's going on.
Right. Hi, guys. Okay, let's go.
So I will start. This is a hand, well, this is a hand that I will open on the button even with kind of loose players in the blinds, um, I've just been opening pretty much any two suited cards on the button.
Right. Okay. I think pre-flop, this is a completely fine open here. The only thing is this, though. I mean, I've said before, how wide I open usually sort of depends on the toughness and the aggression of the opponents in the blinds. And I think when you look at these guys' stats, I mean, we don't have too many hands on these guys, but the thing is, you need stats to sort of converge. But, until they converge, that's kind of the best information you have. So, I mean, if you have, 92 hands on a guy and he's, 72-55, just assume that he's loose. And if you have like 91 hands on a guy and he's like 19-12, I mean, even though those stats haven't converged yet, you can kind of assume that that's the best information you have as of now to sort of go from. So the thing is this, the 410 open here is completely fine, completely standard. I open pretty much any two suited from the button. But if we look at the guys in the blinds here, I mean, they are quite loose, and the thing is this, what you could vary here is actually the raise size on the button. So what I usually do is I usually raise smaller on the button against regulars that are unable to flat out a position, and that's something to sort of keep in mind. Some regulars, especially as you go a little bit higher up in stakes, are going to be sort of unable to flat you out a position, and that's a default for a lot of regulars today. So usually they'll either three bet or fold, and that will make the smaller raise size achieve two things. And I mentioned this in my video. And first off, it will it will mean that I can get a smaller four bet in, or I can get a price that allow me to call in position with a wide range of hands if my initial raise size is smaller, and that is kind of a position that I like to be in. And also, my immediate odds for winning the money outright, the dead money in the blinds, is a lot higher if I would make it, for instance, 0.25 rather than 0.30. However, if I feel that people are flatting me constantly out of position, I think the 3x raise size is fine because I want to actually play a pot with these guys out of position, even if they know I have a wide range. But I think the open is fine.
To take it a step further, if you had something like pocket aces, would you like 5x it on the button here? If you
No,
think they're calling.
because no, if against the thing is this, my raise size has balance, but it only changes depending on the opponents in the blind. So let's say I have one huge fish and one sort of, tough reg. I'm gonna always 3x it. If I have two tough regs, I'm always gonna 2.5x it. So you know, chances are they won't notice the difference in raise size, and chances are I don't have to balance really. But why would I ever want to play mind games with myself? So I'll keep my bet size constant on a single table depending on the guys in the blinds. But the thing is this, so like when I'm six tabling on table one, depending on the guys in my blinds, my race size can always be 2.5x. On table two, it can always be 3x, and on table three, it can always be 3x, and on table four, it can always be 2.5x throughout the entire session if the blinds don't change. But the hands in themselves don't matter. What matters is the guys in the blinds.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Because the thing is this, if I want to balance, if I'm opening 60% of the hands, aces and kings and queens are a very small portion of that range.
Right.
So it's the rest of the range that's important.
Right. That
Does that make sense?
yeah, that does make sense.
Right.
Um, we flop pretty much nothing,
Hmm.
and both of them check. And at this point, I decided that I think if it was just heads up, I feel like if I bet here, which I do, my bet should be perceived as a lot stronger when I'm betting into two people than if I'm betting heads up.
Right. It is definitely perceived as a lot stronger when you're betting here into two people. But the thing is this, I haven't played micros for a while, but I think that when you look at these guys' stats, I think sort of any ace or ace X of some type is a lot larger part of their range than king X of some type. So like a board like king 6-5 for me would be an exponentially better c bet in this spot. And what's more is that, just generalizing here, looks like these guys are going to continue with pretty much everything. I mean, you're pretty much hoping for both of them to have sort of mid-range Broadway cards for them not to continue with this hand. You're hoping that one guy has
Yes.
king queen, the other one has queen jack or jack 10,
Right.
because
That's
everything
actually
else
exactly
fits
what I'm
here.
hoping for.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for. That's fair. That's a fair thing to hope for from one opponent. It's it's a tough thing to hope for
Ambitious.
from two.
Okay.
Sorry.
I
It's
said
yeah, it's
it's
ambitious. It's
ambitious.
ambitious to expect that from both of them. Personally, on this flop, unless I know my opponents really, really well and I know their flatting ranges, and because I mean, again, as you go up in levels, people are not going to be flatting ace X, right? And
Right.
all their big aces, they're gonna three bet. If there's one ace they might sort of flat is like ace jack, 100 big blinds deep, or ace 10 suited. But that's the only aces in their range, especially when two guys flat. So as you go up in stakes, this is a flop you can sort of continuation bet if you know your opponent's ranges very well. If you don't, this just hits the other guys too hard, and as you said, it's quite ambitious. Now, also the thing is this: you have a backdoor draw here, right? You have one backdoor draw. The four can't be counted as a backdoor straight draw, but because it's too obvious. But you have a backdoor draw that has some implied odds, which is your diamond draw. The thing is, 3 years ago when I started playing, I was thinking to myself that people, wow, they don't know the value of their backdoor draw. Whereas today I'm thinking that, people way overestimate the value of their backdoor draws. Things have shifted quite a bit, when it comes to six max. These days everybody is sort of using their backdoor draws as a justification for making, quite spewy plays. So I think the backdoor draw is fairly, irrelevant here. Um, but I think if there's one street that's sort of misplayed, it's this one, where I think that continuation bet is kind of out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
It's hoping
translate that
it's hoping
as
for much. It's hoping for much. I mean, it might not be I mean, it's definitely not a terrible play. I mean, it's not a, super minus CV play. Absolutely not. It might not even be minus CV. But probably checking is more plus CV,
okay.
I would think.